Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're in season 3, 2022, Flying High with the Birds, Philadelphia Eagles Talk Podcast. I am the Godfather. Again, we're in year 3. With us, the podcast chaplain. Jimmy, what's up?
Guys, we got football back. How exciting is this?
Yes, we do. And
What
it's
a
gonna-
great time of the year.
Right.
and-
And
And the baseball team's playing really well too. It's even better.
yeah, that's true. But, that's the one thing I hate when I listen to their sports talk. If the Phillies are doing good, they talk a lot about the Phillies during this time of the year, but I'd rather hear about the Eagles.
Still in Eagles town. They still dominate.
Damn right. Also with us, the Armenian Hammer.
Hi
Fly.
guys, the best time of the year,
Yes,
preseason,
it is.
when everybody thinks they're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Yep. And finally, Will Seal the Deal Sealy. How are you, Will?
What's going on, guys? I'm glad football's back. How you doing, Vahe, Jimmy? Good to see you guys. Armin, it's going to be a good year. I'm just going to put it out there now. This is going to be a Carson Wentz less podcast from last year and more about Jalen Hurts.
There will be a lot of talk about Carson Wentz. Trust me.
We got to get our
Start
daily
with this.
update on them.
But,
We
when we did this last year, we started out on fire, like this team's really going to be great and everything. And that was last year. And I think this year is going to be probably the same thing because of some of the changes that were made. But let me just get this thing started real quick. The Eagles lost their playoff game 31-15, I believe it was, or 16 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a very ugly game that ended their season. They ended up with a 9-8 record, a team that really should not have made the playoffs, but they actually outperformed, especially in the second half of the year, especially with their running attack. And I'm going to start off with with some of the draft picks here, and you guys can tell me what you think of them. And I'll go around the horn here, but let me just give you the draft picks and then a couple of the free agent signings that they had in the offseason. Jordan Davis was the number 1 draft pick, a defensive tackle out of Georgia. The second round pick was Cam Jurgens out of Nebraska as center. Round 3, they get Nakobe Dean, linebacker from Georgia. In round 6, they get Kyron Johnson, who was a linebacker from Kansas. And also as a supplementary pick, they got Grant Calcaterra from SMU, who was a tight end. And actually they had 3 first-round draft picks. They traded 2 of them, one for next year's pick to New Orleans. And in the other one, they made a trade and got A.J. Brown, a wide receiver, which is a tremendous move. They also, free agents, they signed Britton Covey from the University of Utah, a little speedy wide receiver, kick returner, and Carson Strong, quarterback from Nevada. Other offseason moves, they signed James Bradbury, who was a defensive back that was released from the New York Giants. It was very good defensive back, shutdown corner. Hassan Reddick, rushing extraordinaire that used to play for the Carolina Panthers, who was a Philly guy just from over the bridge in Camden, New Jersey. And Kaiser White, another Pennsylvania guy that was a leading tackler for the Los Angeles Chargers last year. So let's just give me some thoughts on the draft picks and your thoughts, and we'll start with you, Jimmy.
love the draft. I love it. I think they hit. I think they potentially hit a home run with their first 3 picks. I mean, if Dean can be the player he was in college, that's an absolute steal in the 3rd round. And I wanted him at as high as 15 or 19. When he kept dropping, I was like, wow, what let's get him. And in the 3rd round, it's just like, wow. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I was,
Yeah. What do you think?
ecstatic.
Yeah. What do you think, Will?
I agree. I mean, Nakobe Dean is so electric, and he flies to the ball like a player that you want on your team. I mean, he's vicious, and I'm so excited about him. I can't believe that he did slide like he did. But let me tell you, when I was at this practice over the weekend, that's the Sunday night practice, Jordan Davis is a specimen. Like, people are saying he can be Fletcher Cox's replacement. I'm thinking like he's going to be Aaron Donald. Like, this guy looked unblockable. It didn't matter how many guys you put on him. He's so big and fast. It's unbelievable. He might be the best player in the entire draft this year. I'm telling you, like, I cannot believe after seeing this guy in person, like, I'm so excited that he is an Eagle.
Yeah, good point. Vahe?
I agree. I mean, the thing is that from what I've seen on TV, the guy is unbelievable. The only thing is basically about his stamina, whether he can last 60 minutes of game shape, and if he stays in shape and he can play like he's playing, oh my God, it's going to be like unbelievable. And I agree with Will. I mean, the thing is that he could be still of the draft. He's so physical, and
It's
only
like-
need somebody like him in the middle, right? Push back the center.
Yeah, like, he's so big and fast and strong. Like, he's going to move that pocket. And, a quarterback having to try to step up in that pocket and seeing somebody that's 6'6", so, like, he's going to be eating quarterbacks alive that try to step up into that pocket.
They say he
agree.
looks unreal in camp too. They can't stop him. He's all over the place.
Well,
Jimmy, they were doing 11-on-11s, and they were having 3 guys try to slow him down, and he was still blowing up plays.
and he's got speed too, he can run. But let me ask you guys this, and be honest with me. How many of you were pissed when they did not take the safety from Notre Dame and took Jordan Davis? I'll say
I
this,
was.
I was pissed. I
I
really
was
thought
pissed too.
at the time they should have taken that. I can't remember his name, but the
Kyle
guy that
Ham-
went to the
Kyle
Saints.
Hamilton, right?
Yeah, I was.
That's
I
what I
was.
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah,
was
I mean, is that how you guys felt?
I could have sworn like they traded up to get him. They're getting Kyle Hamilton, and like they went the other way.
I was with you guys too. I did want him too, but I'll tell you now, after seeing Jordan Davis, I'm not even mad about it.
Yeah, but the key with Davis, I think, is what's he going to be like in years 2, 3, 4, and 5? Because, weight has been an issue with him in the past. And I know they said he came in really good shape. This is his first camp. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, is he going to be able to hold up like this for the length of his stay here? So, but yeah, I do think it's a great move, and I think it's going to make a player or two expendable on that defensive line, and we'll go over that a little bit. What are you guys feeling about AJ Brown picking him up?
How can you not love it? How can you not love that? I mean, Hurts has got no excuses this year. They went out and got him all the weapons he needs, and now it's time to go and show it on the field. If he wants to be the franchise quarterback, let's go, dude.
Yeah,
Let's go.
AJ Brown's getting every target in practice. They said Elliott Short-Park said he tracked 9 days of practice, and I think he said like 83% of the targets were all going to AJ Brown. And the
But
second
Devontae Smith
highest
is
guy
out
was,
too.
huh?
Devontae's out though, right? He's
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
He's
Devontae's out, but
tentatively-
even
yeah.
when he was in, he was only getting like 1 catch a game or a practice. They're saying the second highest is Rager, and that's only because he's been working with the first and second teams.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I will say this, and I got to give a little bit of I have to give a little bit of DAP. I call DAP to some of these other people that do podcasts. I listen to the Eagle Eye podcast with Dave Zangara and Ruben Franks. They are fantastic. Inside the Birds with Jeff Mosher and Adam Kaplan. They are phenomenal on the information that they get, and they have very good sources. And a lot of the things that I would say in these podcasts are probably a reflection of what I hear from these guys, because they're the ones that are there and listen and hear things and have these sources. But One of the things I heard on Inside the Birds, and I think it was from Adam Kaplan, was that they, the Eagles brass are saying that the one thing that Hurts is doing a lot better are two things. Actually, he's really working with balls over the middle, and AJ Brown is that guy where you throw the ball over the middle. That's something that Hurts lacked last year. And also, they see that he's been able to go from his first progression to his second progression. Last year, his major problem was going from 1 to 2. So hopefully that's something he worked on all year. Vahe, your thoughts on that?
The pressure's on him this year. There's no more excuses, and probably he knows that too. So I'm hoping that basically this is going to be a breakout year for him, and just like Josh Allen in Buffalo, and maybe this is it. But if he doesn't produce, I think next year with the 2 first-round picks, they're going to go for a quarterback, because there's no excuse left. You know, they got all the weapons on the defense and offense. There's nothing left for him to complain about. Maybe a running back, but basically that's it. So yeah, he should, and I'm hoping that he will. With all those weapons, 2 years under his belt, you know, good offensive line, there's no more excuses.
Yeah.
If he wants to be a starter in the, you know, in the NFL, what better chance he's going to get than what he has with the Eagles?
I agree. And since we're talking about Hurts, well, why don't we give the platform to you for a couple of minutes and tell us a little bit about what you saw on Sunday?
Well, you know, I'm Mr. Negative when it comes to Jalen Hurts. The practice started out, you know, early with him throwing a nice around 30-yard touchdown pass to AJ Brown, which everybody saw on social media. It was a good ball, and AJ Brown made a great play. Other than that, I will say it was very discouraging, especially when you start hearing other people in the stands with you saying, "Why are you running the ball in practice? I didn't come to practice to see you run the ball." Multiple times, it just seemed like he was taking a 5-step drop, looking at one guy, and then just taking off. He had a series of 9 plays where he ran the ball 4 times. It is, you know, to me, it's practice. So I would assume that the offensive coordinator would work with the defensive coordinator saying, "Hey, let's give these guys some looks so we can start practicing some routes and throwing the ball maybe downfield. Or, you know, let's just get Hurts in the flow of throwing the ball." Instead, I just seen a lot of Jalen Hurts running the ball, or he's just throwing a quick slant to AJ Brown. I'm seeing a lot of short passes, nothing really over 10 yards. I honestly, I was just really discouraged because I thought I was going to see a lot more of, you know, Jalen Hurts throwing the ball at practice, and I just didn't. We none of us saw it there. I mean, I'll tell you, there was multiple people in the stands saying, you know, why is he running the ball in practice?
Yeah, that seems like a lot of people are saying the same thing. They thought they were going to go down there and see an air show, and it was, you know, him checking off receivers and then, you know, running, scrambling.
Yeah, it is the preseason. I don't put too much weight into it. Remember when Jim Kelly, not Jim Kelly, the coach, what was his name?
Chip Kelly.
Okay. Chip Kelly. Remember, and during the preseason, they looked like a Super Bowl contenders, and when the season started, they just went bust.
Oh, that first game was awesome.
Yeah. They ran all over they ran all over Washington that opener.
Put up 35.
Yeah. He wore
So-
that team out though.
Yeah.
To that
Yeah.
being said, though, like, I'm not expecting them to have like all these like crazy design plays. I just want basic. Let's have Jalen Hurts step back, work on throwing the ball. That's it. Like, you're there to practice. This is practice. I don't even care if you throw interceptions, you throw bad balls. At least just, you know, throw the ball. That's what you're there to work on.
Throw the ball
And
down.
instead, I saw a lot of what we saw all last year. It was zone reads, screen passes. There was an amazing amount of screen plays all Sunday night, the practice. And then Jalen Hurts taking a 5-step drop and then just running with the ball. It looked exactly like what we saw all last year.
Well, he hasn't practiced like that. There's a lot of other things that he worked on that, from what I heard, he did not do, or the coaching staff did not have him do during Sunday's scrimmage. So you don't know. I mean, I'm sure it was just strictly vanilla and they didn't want to show too much. But I'll tell you what, while we're at it, because there's so much to talk about, let's go into these position groups, because it is pretty exciting. I see a lot more depth, especially in some of the areas that they were always short in, like linebacker and defensive back. But let's go around the horn here real quick and let's talk. And I'll start with you again, Will, with quarterbacks. Right now, the quarterbacks that are on the roster are Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew, Reed Sinnett, Carson Strong. Last two were free agents. Your thoughts on any of the other three?
It looks like Gardner Minshew is really struggling. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles try to deal him for somebody. The guy Reed Sinnett he looked good Sunday night, and I mean everybody's saying that he's having like a really good camp. He's got a really strong arm, and he sees the field really well. I was really interested in seeing what Carson Strong would do, because his tape looks phenomenal, but he's just not mobile, and he might just not fit this offense, and he's struggling big time. And part of it might be because he's a rookie and it's his first training camp, and it could be the scheme, because he's not mobile at all. Like with that knee issue that he's got, I mean, he just might not be a good fit here.
Yeah, I agree. Jimmy, give me your dibs on who you think the main backup will be come week one.
Well, I would think it's going to be Minshew. But you never know. Maybe like Will said, they go out there and deal in and then pick up a veteran who gets cut. But I think you need a serviceable backup going into the season, especially with a lot of question marks, around Hurts.
Yeah, no, I agree. I kind of think that Minshew's the only other one that has NFL experience at this point.
Right.
But if they get the right deal for him, and I could see them possibly maybe packaging Minshew and possibly Jalen Reagor for maybe a 3 or something to somebody that gets desperate. So I would have to. What's this?
Would you trade Reagor for a 4th-round pick? They were talking
I would.
about.
No, I would.
I'm with you.
Yeah, because he's not
I
going
heard
to
that on
be.
the radio today, and they were talking about they would keep him. I'm like, I would trade him in a second for a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, no,
4th-round pick's valuable in the NFL. I think.
and they got a lot of good wide receivers, and we'll talk about them in a minute. Let's go to the running backs, Vahe. Right now, the main ones, there's a few more, but I'm going to give you the main 5 that I saw. Miles Sanders, Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, Jason Huntley, and they got a free agent out of Oklahoma, Kennedy Brooks. How many do you see them keeping, and who are the 3, or who are they?
Well, ironically, some people are saying that the weakest link with the Eagles is running back. They don't have like a star running back, and for whatever reason, Sanders is not really looking that good. So I don't know. I mean, it could be just talk, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and get the running back before the season starts, because they don't have like a game changer, They don't have a big stud running back that they had last year with Jordan. What was it?
Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard. They need that guy. They don't have it right now.
Yeah, like a LeGarrette Blount type guy. I don't know, but I don't know if they need that guy, because their offensive line is just. I think they got the best rushing offensive line in football right now. They're road graders up front. So
yeah, but they don't have a number 1 running back. They have a couple of number 2 running backs, and Miles Sanders, for whatever reason, he's not really inspiring a lot of confidence.
Well, I just think, and I'll say this, I think Miles Sanders is a RB number 1. He just gets injured a lot. And if he goes a full season this year, gets 1,000 yards and stays healthy, I think they're going to give him a nice contract come next year. I really got that feeling because this is his contract year.
I like having that big back that'll wear the defense out, just like the
Yeah.
line. Where
Mhm.
I like having that big back, and
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if Sanders is here next year. To be honest, like
Me
I
neither.
think if they really liked him, they would have given him. They would have extended him. I'm not so sure they're sold on him. I have a lot of. I think Gainwell is going to be a big player this year. I like Gainwell
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, Gainwell's
That could
great
be-
around. Great.
that
Gainwell's got
could
the
be-
best hands. He's a very good receiving back. They also said he's blocking great in pass protection, and he's around the goal line. He is amazing around the goal line. He could end up being. He's already been compared to Brian Westbrook, and that's really saying something. I mean, he does have a lot of the same qualities that Westbrook has.
It's funny you said that too, because Brian Westbrook was on 94.1 last week with Ike Reese, and he was saying Miles Sanders is the best running back that he's seen since him, and mimics his game off it. Like he sees Miles Sanders in him.
That's Sanders, but I'm saying that
Gainwell.
I know.
if I said
know.
Sanders, I made a mistake. I meant
No,
Gainwell.
you did.
Okay.
I just got reminded of it when you said it.
Yeah, I think Gainwell reminds me a little bit more of what of the type of player he could like. He could be the type of player that Westbrook was. Well, I'm going to go to you with the wide receivers. There's a lot of them here, and I know last year I think they kept 5 for the majority of the season on their active roster. So let's go over these names, and all of us are going to get involved in this one. Competing right now for, I guess, the 5 or possibly 6 spots are A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal, Rager, Greg Ward, Devin Allen, Britton Covey, John Hightower, Kerrick Wheatfall, and Dion Kane. Give me your thoughts, Will.
The more I look at this, the one guy that I think is going to be more of a bubble guy that people aren't really talking about is Zach Pascal. I think if the team wants to keep Rager, they're going to decide between like Pascal and maybe that what's his name, Britton Covey, because Britton Covey's a great returner. I don't know how much special teams Pascal plays. But honestly, I actually think Pascal will actually fall behind even Rager. I think Rager is going to be higher up on the depth chart than Pascal. And honestly, this camp, maybe it's just noise of them trying to trade him and say it's looking good. But when I was there Sunday, he looked pretty good. It looked like a different Jalen Rager from what I've seen last year.
Did he look good the preseason too?
No,
He
last
did.
season. No, he reported late because he had a friend died and he was out
Oh
for
yeah,
the first 2 weeks.
yeah. You're right.
And he reported out of shape. This
He
year
looks-
he came in on time and he's in very good shape.
Yeah, he looks a lot bigger too. He looks stronger. So
Can you imagine if he turned into a player?
Well,
it would be great. I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but just from what I saw, he looks like he's gonna be better than Zach Pascal. And I would think Zach Pascal's more fighting for that 5th spot against maybe Britton Covey, just because Covey brings a good aspect to the team that we haven't had in a while, and returning the ball.
Mhm.
Vahe, I'm just curious. Give me your 5.
Yeah, I agree with what Will's saying. And Rager is not your return guy. Every time he touched the ball last year, it was going backwards, if you guys remember, or sideways. So you do definitely need that. And Britton Covey probably is the guy. Maybe he's the 5th guy on the roster. And maybe Zach Pascal is out, right? You cannot have more than 5.
Yep.
And
You
I
could
agree
have
with that.
6. No, they've carried 6 in the past. I think it's very possible with this group that they might. And it's a shame because you got Dion Kane, who was a late round draft pick for the Colts a couple of years ago. I think he played at Clemson, I believe. He had a real good career at Clemson. And he was lighting it up at Indy camp a couple of years ago, and then he tore his knee. And he's been like trying to recover ever since, but they said he could be a diamond in the rough. I just don't know if it's going to be on this team this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all agree. We got A.J. Brown, Smith, Watkins. They're the definite three. And if we
Mhm.
go with
Hightower.
who's
Tower
this?
is going to be out.
Yeah,
You
I think
think so?
Hightower is going to be out. There's Eric Wheatfall, who I think is on the outside looking in. Devin Allen. They said that he has struggled in camp. I don't even.
27, he hasn't played in years.
Yeah, but well, let me put it to you this way. You know that Rager and Allen and Covey and Hightower and Kane are going to get a ton of work in these 3 preseason games, a ton. And these three games are going to really mean a lot as to who's on the team. My personal opinion, you know the top 3 are. I think Zach Pascal will be 4. I think that Rager will eventually be traded. I think Britton Covey's going to be the guy. I'm hearing so many things about him. He's quick. He's tough. He's got really good hands. He's very good in the classroom. He does it all. And I don't know. I just got a funny feeling that he will be 5. And I wouldn't be surprised if they carry 6. If they carry 3 running backs and 6 wide receivers, Rager could end up being that guy. But I think they're going to be showcasing Rager in these preseason games to see if they can get trade value out of him. Let's go to tight end. Jimmy, we got Dallas Goedert, Jack Stoll, Grant Calcaterra, Jay Jaw, Tyree Jackson, Richard Rogers, and Noah, I can't even pronounce his last name, Toga, whatever his last name was. He was on the practice squad of last year. What's your thoughts?
Hopefully our boy Goddard's ready to step up and take that next step and join the elite tight ends this year. Just add more power to the offense with him if he can take that next step. They just gave him that contract. Was that last year?
Yeah, it was right after Ertz got traded.
Right. So hopefully he takes that next step and joins the elite tight ends. I kind of like what's his name? Is it Jackson?
Tyreek Jackson.
Yeah.
Like it's 6'9" or 6'10" or something.
Yeah,
That's the guy that Howie loved. Remember last year? He loved him.
I'm intrigued by him.
I think he got injured and he's out.
Well, no, he had the back issue at the beginning of last year. And then when he came back in the middle of the season, he tore his knee and he's out. He's on the PUP list right now. So, but they want to hold on to him because I think they got potential in him. But let me put it to you this way. They're probably going to run a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. They're going to need 3 solid tight ends on that roster.
JJ Whiteside.
Yeah.
There's no chance he makes
No, but Jack
Rogers
Stoll will
is
be
going to be
number
your
2.
third tight end, right?
No, I think it's going to be.
You don't think it's
I think that guy Grant Calcaterra, the 6th round pick from SMU, they said he looked terrific before he hurt his hamstring, and unfortunately, he's probably going to be out until the last preseason game. I think they're going to find a roster spot for him. He's tall, he's lean, he's got very good hands, and he played at Oklahoma. I think the 1 year with Hurts, and he did very, very good. So, but they're short on tight end because they got a lot of guys that are hurt right now. Calcaterra's out, Jackson's out. Richard Rogers just was activated not too long ago, but I don't know if Richard Rogers is going to be on this team this year. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for him. I think he'll get released. So we went, okay, the last is the offensive line. Now, this is really going to be interesting. All right, let's go over this. The list I got, you know that the left tackle is going to be Mailata. The left guard is going to be Landon Dickerson. The center is going to be Kelsey with Juergens backing him up. And Juergens, is going to get a lot of time in the preseason. They're saying that Isaac Seumalo has been working at the right guard position, came in lean. He lost some weight. He's in the low 300s. He looks terrific. And they think he's going to be the right guard. And Lane Johnson, who has also looked terrific. So we know who those 5 are. Well, let's make it 6 because you got
Cam Juergens.
Cam Juergens. Okay. Here's the rest of the list because you figure they're going to keep at least two more. Sua Opeta, Jack Driscoll, Jack Anderson, Coyote Osaki. I don't know if I'm getting his name right. Josh Sills, Brett Toth, Andre Dillard, LaRaven Clark. Will, give me a couple names. Who do you think it's going to be?
They're going to stick with what they had. They're going to keep Driscoll, Sua Opeta, and Andre Dillard. Those guys have been reliable and stepping up when you need them. Besides Andre Dillard, but I mean, last year when you put him in, I think it was like in the beginning of the season, he actually did pretty well, and he knows the offense. I think they feel comfortable with those guys, and they've seen them actually play. And you know, it's the offensive line really hasn't skipped a beat, even just plugging those guys in. So I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And
Isn't Dillard in his contract year?
yes,
Isn't it?
yes,
The last year of his rookie contract, right?
that's correct. That's huge. And so
think
is
they're
Sam
gonna-
Alu. Well, Sam Alu's this is his final year. He's playing for a contract too.
I think they're going to trade Dillard. There's no way they're going to keep two left
They s-
tackles.
They said
cannot
he came
afford-
in a lot stronger, and they said he really looks a lot better. So
But you cannot afford to have two left tackles on the contract, right? I
Yeah.
mean, those are the most expensive guys.
yeah, well,
You cannot pay each one of them $50 million.
yeah, no, that's true.
I could see them keeping them. I can see them keeping them and then trying to make a deal right by the deadline. A team that needs a left tackle, they'll have, you know, first round pick, you
Yeah.
know,
I think,
tackle.
yeah, he's a showcase
That's
guy.
good take.
Yeah, I agree. I think Minshew's a showcase guy on offense. This is Dillard's
Mhm.
going to be a showcase guy. Rager's going to be a showcase guy. They're probably the three main ones that I see right now as guys that may get traded for something. Okay, Vahe, let's go into the defense now. Let's start with the defensive line. These are the players. Brandon Graham back from his Achilles injury, and they said he's looking very good, but he's 33, I think, going on 34. My boy, Fletcher Cox. Javon Hargrave, Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Teron Jackson, Jordan Davis, Matt Leo, Marlon Paluto, and Kobe Smith. Anybody you see there? Well, you know that Graham's in, you know Hargrave's in. I don't know about Barnett. You know Sweat's in, you know Williams is in. Anybody else you see that might be?
I think they're going to keep Barnett, and I wouldn't be surprised if they trade Cox, because they already have enough bodies on that line, and you know, he's expendable. I think.
Yeah.
Unless
Jordan-
there's going to be a
Jordan
major
Davis.
hit, or Jordan Davis. Oh yeah, I mean, I can
Yeah, but-
easily see them trading Cox.
Just think about like the interior with Jordan Davis, Javon Hargrave, and Milton Williams. That's plenty of guys to throw in
Yeah.
the rotation. If they
Yeah.
can get somebody like Fletcher Cox, and they were already thinking about it last year, I can see it happening.
Yeah, but
Yep.
here's the other thing. When last year they said that Milton Williams could play defensive end, they got Jordan Davis, and I think that gives the Eagles the Jonathan Gannon the flexibility to maybe change the scheme every now and then and going with a three-man front. So that could really make things a lot different for who this defensive line's going to be.
The
So-
way Jordan Davis is playing, they should go one-man front.
Um,
He'll be the line that everybody plays back.
Yeah, but I would say that I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't think Fletcher Cox is a lock to make this roster.
No, they cannot
I-
count.
I
There's
belong-
dead money. There's
Well-
so much dead money. No, they
Yeah,
cannot
they-
count.
that-
No, but I thought that would not count as much against the cap when they released him and brought him back at a lesser salary. I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm not into the cap part of it, but I think that, you know, getting
Trade him.
Jordan.
Trade
I
him.
mean, but who's going to want a 33-year-old guy who has played a lot, like has not played anywhere near the level he was at in 2017 and 18? He's a completely different player.
If the
So-
team's close and you know they have a shot at the Super Bowl and they need somebody to plug in there to start, they'll trade for him.
Well, but you,
I
you
mean, one
guys
thing I
think,
like,
Go ahead.
one thing I like about the Eagles, they have so many parts that they can trade for, like with Dillard and Fletcher Cox, even Gardner Minshew, right? I mean, those
Yeah.
are basically players that if somebody's looking for a quarterback, somebody's looking for a left tackle, you know?
yeah, so,
So
so Fletcher Cox is also a showcase guy. So that's
Yeah,
four
I
that we
think
know
so.
of, that they could be
I think-
showcased.
I mean, this is a luxury to have. This is a good problem to have. Like the Eagles haven't had this much depth in a long time, and
Right.
I actually got to give Howie Roseman some credit. But yeah, we have these guys available to trade because there's depth all over this roster.
And,
Yeah, he had
you know,
great,
yeah,
great
yeah.
offseason.
yeah, I'd like to see Taran Jackson have a shot here. I know that he
Yeah,
was.
I
on
heard
the
I heard he's looking very good
They-
during the.
yeah, they said he's
camp.
looked good. He's really did a lot of work in the off season, and so did that Tui Peludo. He's looked really good too. They said so. These three games are going to mean so much to some of these lower roster spots. Let's go to linebacker. This is really interesting. They virtually haven't had good depth at linebacker in years.
Since Trotter's era, right?
Even before Trotter, TJ Edwards, Davion Taylor, Sean Bradley, Nakobe Dean, Christian Ellis, Kyran Johnson, the 6th-round draft pick, Patrick Johnson, Hassan Reddick, Jacoby Stevens, Kaiser White. Jimmy, what do you think?
I'm excited about their linebackers. They finally addressed it. I mean, it's been forever. I mean, when were you this excited about their linebackers? I mean, what was the last time when it was, I'm going back 20 years with Trotter, Carlos Emmons, and Ike Reese. Like, I mean, when was the last time their linebackers were this enticing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys, I'm very excited about their linebackers.
Yeah, I am too.
This is one position where I can see when they put this team together and get it down to 52. I can see this being a reason why we only keep 5 receivers, because I can't remember the last time the Eagles kept more than three linebackers. I mean, but think about this. Hassan Reddick, he's definitely making the team. TJ Edwards, definitely making the team. Kaiser White, definitely making the team. Nakobe Dean, definitely making the team. Davion Taylor, who is having a great preseason, he's definitely going to make the team. And then
And you
still
got the best special
Patrick
team
Johnson.
and the best special teams player on the Eagles, Sean Bradley.
Exactly.
I mean,
So
they
he's
got a
probably
lot of
gonna make the team.
decisions. Yeah, they got a lot of decisions to make there. Let's go to cornerbacks. This is very interesting. There's a lot of them vying for, I think, 5 spots. Darius Slay, well, Steven Nelson's out now. He's gone. Darius Slay, and it looks like James Bradbury could be the cornerbacks, and you got Avonte Maddox in the middle. Zach McPherson looks like he's the number 4 guy, and then you got a battle going with Hosea Scott, Tay Gowan, Josh Blackwell, Mario Goodrich, Tay Gowan, Josh Joby, and Kerry Vincent. I don't know if you guys know much about those other guys, but give me your thoughts. Jimmy, I'll tell you what, give me your thoughts on the Bradbury trade.
Awesome. How
It
can
wasn't
you
a trade. They picked him up. He was released.
They signed him, right?
Yeah,
they
they
signed-
signed him after the
How can
Giants
you
released
not
him.
love that? And you took him from the Giants.
Yeah,
How can you not love? I mean, how can you not love that? It's like how, and it seemed, and like I said, like Howie had an incredible offseason.
he
And
did.
it's like he just waited and waited, and then he just added him at the last second. And I mean, how can you not like that? And we have big play Slay still.
Do you guys,
that-
well, at linebacker, do you guys remember how good Davion Taylor played until he got hurt last year? He really came around. He was flying to the ball last year.
You know what? One thing I don't understand, Nakobe Dean, the reason he fell to the 3rd round was because he was supposed to be hurt or he was supposed to have a surgery or something, right?
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
we thought he had.
What happened to that?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
But they did say he's firmly behind some of the other guys right now. They said
I
he is
think he's-
behind.
I
But-
think
but
he's
I think
behind 'cause
that's a-
they're not
he's a
getting
bigger
in
player.
practice.
He's a bigger player for he may not have an impact this year, but I think 2, 3 years, look out, man. I think he's going to be an absolute animal. He's going to anchor that defense.
I-
Yeah.
He's
I
But he's
think-
not
always
hurt though,
around the
right?
ball.
he's not hurt though, is he?
No,
No,
no.
No, they're just saying he's a little behind all the
Yeah.
I think they're gonna see it this year, and the reason I think he's behind is because we're not having physical practices. This guy flies to the ball. He is, I think, the most physical linebacker we have, and you're just not seeing it because we're not tackling in practice. But I think it's gonna come down to preseason, and I wouldn't be surprised if he works his way into a starting position this year.
I think he's going to be an absolute stud. I'm with
I
you.
do too, but I don't think it'll be this year. I don't think it'll be this year, but who knows? Listen, we're already on for 45 minutes, and there's a couple other things I want to get to. Let's all pick a player that we think will like have a breakout year, somebody that you didn't expect. Give me that player.
Somebody you didn't expect. So
Yeah, somebody that's going to have a breakout year that most people didn't think would.
I mean, I don't know if this really counts, but I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but I think Gainwell is going to have an awesome year. I
Very
think he's
good.
going to take over. I think he's going to be their guy.
Yeah.
I think he's the guy. I think he's going to outperform Sanders. I think Sanders might have under 900 total yards from scrimmage.
Wow.
But
Bye.
what do I know?
No, that's a good selection. Who do you think?
I'm
Vahe?
I'm really big on Gainwell. Like,
Yeah, me too.
Well, if you're saying unexpected, could be either Rieger or Hertz. I think Rieger, the way he's looking right now, he could make everybody be surprised the way he plays, or Jalen Hurts. I think he can take the next step and take us to the promised land.
I think the reason why Rager will not be that guy is because of Hurts. Hurts is going to be throwing the ball to the other guys. That's a good opinion. And Rager may end up being a surprise player for another team if he's on that team, like after the preseason. Well, who do you got?
I think we're going to have our first double-digit sack player in a long time, and it's not who you expect. I think it's going to be Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat's going to be my biggest surprise this year.
Yeah, no, they said on one of the podcasts that he could possibly have 12 to 14 sacks. That's how good he is, but that's a good selection. My guy, I actually have two, and I'm torn between the two. My guy is Marcus Epps. I just think that I think he's going to end up being the best safety. I think that Anthony Harris may not even make this final roster. I know we didn't talk about the safeties, but Epps is my guy. And the other guy that I really like, and I think he's going to be the number one guy this year in his position group, is the linebacker, TJ Edwards. I think TJ Edwards is going to have a fantastic year. They said his camp has been terrific, but he's my special guy. I mean, he's the guy that I think is really going to stand out. All right, I'm going to give you one more. Let's call it the golden child. Give me your golden child. I want a player that everybody's going to want to root for this year. Like they're pulling for this guy. Like a guy, he could be an obscure player, but a guy when he comes on the field, the people are going to go nuts. Give me a name, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's good. I got to think about this one.
The golden child. Who's the golden child this year?
That's.
Anybody want to
good-
take a shot while Jimmy's thinking?
I'll go ahead while he's thinking.
Yeah.
The one player on this team that everybody's going to go crazy for if he goes out there, it's Nakobe Dean. It's absolutely Nakobe Dean. That
good pick.
everybody was so out. He has gotten more publicity than any. What was he drafted in the 5th round or something? It's like
Third.
he's a first
Third
round.
round, third
Deep in
round,
the
like
third
third.
round.
Yeah.
He
overall.
might as well be a 5th round pick for how excited people are. And I'm telling you, if he gets on the field, all eyes are gonna be on him.
Jimmy, did you didn't pick a guy.
I
yet,
got
right?
mine. I'm gonna go with Jurgens. I think everyone at Jurgens. I think he's just a Philly player.
Yeah.
I think
give
he's
me-
just a Philly player, and they're gonna fall in love with him. He's gonna be 30 yards down the field laying people out.
But I don't think that's going to happen this year. It's the only problem.
He might get on the. I mean,
Well,
he might
Kelsey's
be the
going to be
weak-
out for a while, right? Kelsey's
He
going to be
might
out.
be
Yeah,
your
Kelsey's
right?
going to be. They said he'll be ready by the first game. I saw
You don't
that
think he's
today.
gonna get a lot of
Yeah, a lot of preseason, but that you could be right. Give me a guy, Vahe.
Jordan Davis. That
Yeah,
guy
that's
is
a good. Yeah,
that's
They're gonna
my
go
favorite
nuts for
guy. The
him.
way he's
Yeah.
gonna flatten everything.
yeah,
That's
No.
gonna be awesome.
I agree. I'm going to go way, way, way against the grain. My guy, and I think he's going to make this team, and I think he's going to be electric. And he may not play a lot, but when he gets in, the Eagles, the fans are going to go nuts. Is Britton Covey? I don't know if any of you guys have watched him, but he was a kick returner, wide receiver. He's 5'8". He's probably as big as me, maybe 175 pounds. Played for Utah, had 4 kick/punt returns in college. Great wide receiver, great hands. And they said that he's making the biggest impact right now, the wide receivers. And this guy was an undrafted free agent. But at the end of the year, we're going to take this first podcast and we're going to go back and say, who was right about some of these players. Let's end it with this. Okay. I want 3 predictions. And if anybody's ready to go, they can go. You may have to think about this a little bit. Give me a prediction on what's going to happen, whether it's the record, how far they're going to go in the playoffs, if the coaching decisions are bad, if Hurts is going to have a good year, if you think certain players are going to get injured or traded. Give me 3 things. And at the very end of the year, on our last podcast, we're going to go over all these predictions that we did. Just give me 3. It could be about anything. And then we'll decide who made the best predictions. Vahe, you want to give it a shot?
I'll start with it. First, the Rams, they're not going to be as good as they were last year. I think that Stafford is having some issues, and I think that was a one-year wonder. And they're not, maybe they'll make the playoffs, but that's it. I don't think Brady's going to win a Super Bowl ever again. I think he's going to just retire. And I think the Eagles, they're going to go to the NFC Championship game.
Wow, boy.
How much have you drank already today, Brian?
I'm telling you guys, Rams, Bucks, and the Eagles.
Okay.
Eagles are going to the NFC Championship.
Somebody
Oh my
put this
God.
guy in a home.
Oh my God. Jimmy or Will, you want to go?
I'll go.
ahead.
I think Jalen Hurts by the end of the year, everybody's going to realize he's not the guy.
Ooh,
Miles Sanders is going to break 1,000 yards.
that's a good one.
And I'm going to say Josh Sweat has double-digit sacks.
I'm going to go the opposite, if you will, for a change. I think
Okay.
Miles Sanders is going to be under 900 total yards from scrimmage.
Wow.
I think the AFC West, I think everybody is going to be 500 or above. And the last one, I don't know if the Eagles are going to meet all expectations this season because of the quarterback.
They're the ones that get the big money. So
Those
that's
are
a good
my
point.
3.
that's
those
a
are my
great
3.
point. If the quarterback's not on point, it could be an issue. So that's very good. All 3 of you had great ones. Now mine will stay all with the Eagles. I say that for more than 50% of the games, Nakobe Dean will be inactive.
Wow.
I don't think Fletcher Cox will be on this team after mid-year. And I think the MVP of this team this year will be TJ Edwards. I know, that's ballsy.
I don't know if I could disagree more.
Well, I'm just
These are
telling you.
bold predictions.
Listen, my reasons are my reasons. I think that Jordan Davis made Cox expendable. I think that there's too many good linebackers for Dean to get a lot of playing time this year. And I just think that TJ Edwards, I just saw what he did last year, and I think he's just going to lead that defense. But all of our predictions were right on point. So I guess we'll wrap this up. This is podcast number 1 for 2022, the 2022/23 season. And we'll probably, I guess we'll have another one. Maybe we'll do it not after the first preseason game, maybe after the third one. When they, I know that, in preseason, I know they still have to go up against, who is it, Miami and Cleveland. And I think both teams are going to be practicing with them those weeks. So there'll be a lot of reports on all that stuff. So any last minute comments before we
The
wrap this
first
up?
game is this weekend, right? Or no?
Friday, they
Friday
play the
night.
Jets. Yep.
Friday night.
Yeah. And then I think it's Miami and Cleveland. So any last minute thoughts before we wrap this up?
Go
Excited,
Birds.
like
God, we
excited,
put
like
almost an
Bob
hour
said.
in this. Well, we just
Excited.
hope that it's going to be like this in week 7, you know?
It's football's back, like Vahe said.
Yeah.
This is the best time of the year. The best time of the year.
All right, we'll wrap this up right now. Thank you so much for joining us, all 3 or 4 people that actually subscribed to Flying High with the Birds, Philadelphia Eagles Talk.
See you
All
guys
right,
later.
guys. Good job.
See you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.